You and your friend live in separate cities, and you both decided to meet each other for lunch and wanted to travel at least as possible. So your friend suggested to meet at a point halfway. How can you calculate the midpoint between the two positions? Stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Math Mastery. This is my first video ever. I hope you will enjoy this lesson. Today we will learn how to find the midpoint between 2 points. The proof will be at the end of this tutorial. Let's get started. If we have 2 points, 3, 1 and 7, 3, and we need the midpoint of the line segment joining these 2 points, it's obvious that the x-coordinate, which in the middle of the horizontal line, is 5. And similarly, the y-coordinate, which in the middle of the vertical line, is 2. So the midpoint will be 5, 2. It's the same way if we added x-coordinates and then divided by 2, and then added y-coordinates and then divided by 2. It's the same way. So in other words, if you want to get the midpoint between 2 points, simply you can get the average of these 2 points. Or you can follow the formula, which is m, the midpoint, is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. This is the formula of the midpoint between 2 points. Now let's take an example. Find the midpoint between a -3, 2 and b 1, -6. Let's call this x1 and this y1. So x1, y1 represent the first point, and this is gonna be x2 and this is gonna be y2. So x2, y2 represent the second point. All we need to do is to follow the formula, which is m x1 plus x2 divided by 2 y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So we can plug the given information into the formula. So instead of writing down x1 plus x2, we will write down -3 plus 1 divided by 2. And similarly, y1 plus y2 will be 2 plus -6 divided by 2. Notice that positive times negative will be negative. So 2 plus -6 will be 2 minus 6. Now we can simplify the numerator. -3 plus 1 is -2, and 2 minus 6 is -4. So the point will be -2 over 2 and -4 over 2, which is -1 and -2. So the midpoint between a and b is -1, -2. It's so easy. Now it's your turn to pause the video here and solve the next problem. The second example is find the midpoint between a -2, -1 and b 3, 4. We will do the same procedure. x1, y1 represent the first point, x2, y2 represent the second point. The formula is m x1 plus x2 divided by 2. This is the first coordinate, which is x coordinate, and y coordinate is y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Now x1 is -2 and x2 is 3, so it will be -2 plus 3 divided by 2. y1 is -1, y2 is 4, so it will be -1 plus 4 divided by 2. Now we can simplify the numerators. -2 plus 3 is 1 over 2, and -1 plus 4 over 2 is 3 over 2. So the midpoint between a and b is 1 over 2 and 3 over 2. let's take an example that's containing fractions. Find the midpoint between 1 over 4 comma 3 and negative 3 comma 4 over 7. Some students seem to be confused when they see fractions in the problem, but we can use a subterfuge or a trick to get rid of the denominator in the fraction. So here we are. Now 1 over 4 plus negative 3, which is 1 over 4 minus 3, over 2, this is the first coordinate, and the second coordinate, which is y1 plus y2 divided by 2. I mean that 3 plus 4 over 7 divided by 2. Let's isolate to deal with each coordinate separately. The first coordinate, 1 over 4 minus 3 divided by 2. But how can we get rid of the denominator, which is 4? Simply, we can multiply the numerator and the denominator in the whole fraction by 4. So it will be 1 over 4 times 4 minus 3 times 4. This is the numerator. We multiply the numerator by 4, and similarly we will multiply the denominator by 4. It will be 2 times 4. 4 cancels 4, so it will be 1 minus 3 times 4, which is 12, divided by 2 times 4, which is 8. So the answer will be negative 11 divided by 8. So the first coordinate is negative 11 divided by 8. Likewise, we will do the same procedure in the second coordinate. I mean that we will multiply by 7. So 3 times 7 plus 4 over 7 times 7 divided by 2. And we can cross out 7 and 7. So it will be 3 times 7, which is 21, plus 4 divided by 2 times 7, which is 14. So the answer will be 25 divided by 14. So the midpoint is negative 11 over 8 and 25 over 14. What if we want to get the endpoint, not the midpoint? How can we solve this problem? Let's take an example. The midpoint of line segment AB is 5, 7 if the coordinates of point A are 1, 2. What are the coordinates of B? Now we have the coordinates of the midpoint, which are 5, 7. And also we have the coordinates of point A, which are 1, 2. But we don't have the coordinates of B. Now, the formula is M is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. x1, y1 represent the first point, and x2, y2 represent the second point. As long as we don't have the second point, so we can keep them as they are. So the midpoint is 5, 7 is equal to x1, which is 1, plus x2 divided by 2. And y1 is 2, so it will be 2 plus y2 divided by 2. Now we can isolate the coordinates and we can deal with the first coordinate, which is 1 plus x2 divided by 2 is equal to 5, which is 5 over 1. And we can use the cross product. 1 times 1 plus x2 is 1 plus x2 is equal to 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract 1 from the both sides, so it will be x2 is equal to 10 minus 1, which is 9. Likewise, we will do the same procedure. with the second coordinate. 2 plus y2 divided by 2 is equal to 7, which is 7 over 1. Cross product, 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times y2 is y2. And the second side, 2 times 7 is 14. We can subtract 2 from the both sides, so it will be y2 is equal to 14 minus 2, which is 12. Now the second point, B, is 9 and 12. Let's take another example. If A 1, negative 6, B 9, 2, then find the coordinates of the points which divide the line segment AB into 4 equal parts in length. What a question. Yes, we have the line segment, and A is 1, negative 6, and the other endpoint is B 9, 2. And because we have 4 equal parts in length, that means AD, DC, CE, and EB are equal in length. So what is the midpoint between A and B? Of course C. C is the midpoint between A and B. And what is the midpoint between A and C? Yes, D. And what is the midpoint between C and B? Of course E. So to get the midpoint between A and C, which is D, you have to get the midpoint between A and B first. So let's get started with the point C. C is equal to 1 plus 9 divided by 2 and negative 6 plus 2 divided by 2. 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. So the x coordinate is 5. And negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. So the midpoint is 5, negative 2. So C is 5, negative 2. And C is the midpoint between A and B. Now we can get the midpoint D. We will do the same procedure. So D is equal to 1 plus 5 divided by 2 and negative 6 plus negative 2, which is negative 6 minus 2 divided by 2. 1 plus 5 is equal to 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3, and negative 6 minus 2 is equal to negative 8 divided by 2 is equal to negative 4. So the midpoint is 3, negative 4. Now we need to get the last point, which is E. E is the midpoint between C and B. So E is equal to 9 plus 5 divided by 2 and 2 plus negative 2, which is 2 minus 2 divided by 2. 9 plus 5 is equal to 14. 14 divided by 2 is equal to 7. So the x coordinate is 7. And the y coordinate is 2 minus 2, which is 0 divided by 2 is 0. So E is 7, 0. Now you intuitively know the midpoint between the 2 points. I mean that you know the formula, which is x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. But how can we prove this formula? Now we have the line segment, and the first point is x1, y1. So the x coordinate is x1 and y coordinate is y1. And the second point is x2, y2. So the x coordinate is x2 and y coordinate is y2. And let's suppose that the midpoint is x, y. So the x coordinate is x and y coordinate is y. And we will draw lines parallel to x-axis, and at the same time we will draw lines parallel to y-axis to form two triangles, as you see here. And we can label them to name the triangles. So this will be A and this will be B, and this point will be C. Note that the point C is lined up with the point B vertically, so it will have the same x coordinate. And at the same time, the point C is lined up with the point A horizontally, so it will have the same y coordinate. Let's label the rest of the triangles. This is gonna be D and this is gonna be E. Notice that the point E is lined up with the point D vertically, so it will have the same x coordinate. And at the same time, the point E is lined up with the point B horizontally, so it will have the same y coordinate. Now, it's clear that AC and BE are parallel, and AD is a transversal that crosses them both. So the measure of angle A is equal to the measure of angle DBE. On the other hand, DE and BC are parallel, and AD is a transversal that crosses them both. So the measure of angle D is equal to the measure of angle ABC. Of course, you know that the point B is equidistant, so the line segment AB is congruent to the line segment BD. So the two triangles are congruent by angle side angle. And because of that, the line segment AC is congruent to the line segment BE. That means x minus x1 is equal to x2 minus x. Similarly, the line segment DE is congruent to the line segment BC. That means y2 minus y is equal to y minus y1. We can deal with x coordinates first, so x minus x1 is equal to x2 minus x. And we can swap negative x1 and negative x. So it will be x plus x is equal to x2 plus x1. 2x is equal to x2 plus x1, and we can divide by 2. So x is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and this is the x coordinate. Now we can deal with y coordinates. So y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus y. And similarly, we can swap negative y1 and negative y in opposite signs. So it will be y plus y is equal to y2 plus y1. And y plus y is 2y. So 2y is equal to y2 plus y1. And divide by 2. So it will be y is equal to y1 plus y2 divided by 2. And this is the second coordinate. So the midpoint is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma y1 plus y2 divided by 2. I hope you enjoyed this lesson today. If you have a question, don't forget to put it in the comments below. See you next time.